Welcome, everybody. We're going to start out with the song by Judy and Adrian. Thank you. That was beautiful. I'm Christy Carr. I'm your practitioner for the day. I welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living, where we inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. I am the practitioner for the day, along with Shirley and Charlie. So if you want a prayer after the service, please meet us by the bell. Let's turn and wave to the camera, and as we do, we'd like to invite the children up. That was a lot of kids. Please silence your cell phones. I'd like to thank all the wonderful people in service today. Audio, Lindy. Board member, Rich. Bookstore, Lori. Kitchen cookies. Musicals. Music by Judy and Andrea. And the ushers. Looks like Doug back there. So newcomers, any newcomers today? Yeah? We'd like to welcome you today. And Ronnie is going to bring you a welcome packet. And if you'd like a tour of the grounds after church today, I'll be up here. Let's see. We're going to have some focus announcements, but Lori, would you like to come and talk about your... Oh, that's today. Come on up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Massengale-Buckman. I am doing a few classes here and also a moon circle. But today, this very day, we have a herb container gardening class. So I have a lot of different plants ready to go, whether you want to be starting a medicinal or a nutritional or culinary herb garden. I have a few pots and some different planting arrangements for you to get started on your own little container garden at home. So that's at 1 p.m. today, so if you'd like to join me, you're welcome to sign up after service and still make it today. I've got plenty of good plants out there and a lot of good knowledge to share about starting to have those things available to you fresh and ready to go. So also doing a couple of things. I'll have a new moon circle in July. I think it's going to be the 14th. It's a Friday night. And that's just a nice conscious alignment practice for your intention setting. So if you're really looking to grow and move forward in life and not get hung up on some of the old ideas of what intentions are and realize how we can use our own power to really set the course of our life. That's what we're doing with the new moon circle. So I invite you to join me for that as well. But we'll have some other herb preparation classes and such coming up too, so just keep an eye out on the bulletin and feel free to come up and talk to me if you have any questions or if you'd like to know more about what I've been doing. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Lori. Sue would like to make an announcement also.
Good morning. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I have a couple of announcements. One from our Storm King. He has launched a new support group, and it's for the not similar to an AA group, but it's connected to that. And what it's called is Refuge Recovery. And some of you might know this is the Reading group that presents this. And he's hosting this at our center, and they're having a potluck tonight. That's why he wanted me to make a special announcement, and they're going to have a special speaker because they came up from out of town. The potluck's going to start at 5, but the meeting is at 6. And Jeff and Emily are up from San Francisco just to visit and to see how this group is moving along. So there's a lot to that. It is another way to support you in your recovery if at times you just wanted to expand your wings outside from the AA group. So I want to make sure that you knew about that. And I also have a card back there. One of our members, Belinda Palmeru, has cancer, and she's choosing to have to be very conscious through this project of life, through her, yeah, I'm emotional about it, so let me just, she's choosing no chemo, but she's feeling alone, and I visited her a couple of times. I have a card back there. Whether you know Belinda or not, could you just sign your name so I could fill that card and present it to her later this week? She's just a bright light, and she served our children's church for many years. And I just want her to know that she isn't alone, that whether she sees you physically or not, there is love supporting her through this. And then finally, I'm really excited about this speaker that we're going to have coming Friday night, and he's generously offering this workshop to us. It's Buddhism and Burnout. It's teaching and practices for care providers, not just caregivers, but providers. If you are a therapist in the medical field at all, a social worker, taking care of somebody one-on-one. This is a beautiful presentation. He himself is a Soto Zen Buddhist monk. He's connected to the Zen Priory here in Redding. And he's really invested in his work to bring this to us all, to use these tools. They're transformative. He has a lot of humor, and he is a clinical psychologist as well. So if you have questions, if you have concerns about how you're feeling and the work that you do, come join us on Friday night. It starts at 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., and his name is Paul Huttman. He's a PhD, and he's working at the VA. So I just wanted to highlight that because it's coming upon us so quickly. So if you know friends that would like to come to that, please invite them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Steve has an announcement for us.
Good morning. We have the men's group meeting on Monday, June 26th. Let me do that again. The men's group. Monday evening. Don't miss it. It's an opportunity to share with other men in the community, and a great way to be able to just form friendships. It's a really great opportunity to be able to speak. A lot of us don't have opportunities to speak and be heard. And this is consistently, you'll be able to speak and be heard. The Tao of Watercolor, painting the picture. This is with Sherian Wyndham. Her classes are more like, what's the term? Like a subculture. Yeah. Artists are odd people. But what these classes do, if you haven't thought about doing watercolors, is it finds that odd part of you that you're not paying attention to, and gives you an opportunity to be able to play. Not just play, but being able to create images and understand a little bit more about how light works and color works and all these things. And Sherian is just amazing. Years ago, in another lifetime, I used to be a gallery owner for many years. So I've got a good eye, and it's just amazing what the members of this class are able to do after some time. So if you really want to do some, think that you're capable, you are capable of doing some wonderful watercolors. Take this class. It starts 2 Wednesdays. This particular class is going to explore the essential dynamics of painting a picture from first creative concept to completion, June 28th and July 5th. And then, if you really want excitement, the Awareness Newsletter Folding Day. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Hey. Thursday, June 29th, 9 to 11. You don't want to be late for this. 9 o'clock, the folding starts. Thank you.
Okay, well, I don't have much left to say, but we have Landscape and Save a Day on Saturday the 8th from 9 to noon. If you want to come help out, it's Diana and Charlie would love the help. Let's see, what else did they leave me here? Beads and More. Now, I know you want to come to this, and it's on Saturday, July 8th. Don't forget, girls, Saturday, July 8th. I'll be teaching it. Join with me. I supply all the beads, and we just get together and have a good time. Sunday, July 9th, from 11:15 to 12 p.m. is Mary's Essence of Science of Mind, where she will share the history of the Center for Spiritual Living. And then last but not least, we have the book club. It's called The Second Half of Life, Opening the 8 Gates of Wisdom. With Robin Backstrom, and it starts Monday, July 10th from 2 to 4. Yes. Now we'll have a reading by Lori, followed by Charlie will invite the bell, and I'll do a Science of Mind treatment for you. Sorry. I'm going.
In keeping with the paradoxical nature of the divine, this vast, sacred, living, breathing, holy cosmos is also very intimate, for we each reside within the nature of God. And the bridge between this impersonal cosmic system and each one of us is prayer. Prayer is how we communicate with the cosmos. It is the means through which we make ourselves known and heard in the vastness of space. And it's how we receive guidance in return. Prayer is our channel of communication, the direct line between the soul and the divine. Prayer is we are built for this divine intimacy and for the awe, belief, and inspiration it creates. Carolyn Miss, Intimate Conversations with the Divine. Michael Brennan grew up admiring pro golfer Ricky Fowler, so much so that he dressed up as the pro for Halloween 11 years ago. A picture of the getup found its way to Fowler, who signed it with the message, "Look forward to playing a practice round with you at the 2025 U.S. Open." That vision was manifested recently when Fowler invited the now 21-year-old Brennan, an emerging golfer, to join him for a practice round at, naturally, the U.S. Open. What we think, we become. The Buddha. Affirmative prayer. Today, I pay attention to a divine impulse within, heeding the call of life's invitation to uniquely express my heart and talents. I become still and listen. I tune in to the pulse of soulful purpose. I raise my vision and see how I am to manifest God's intention for me in love, service, and prosperity. Thank you, God, forever. And so it is. Reverend Scott Aubrey.
Let's take a deep breath. And if you feel comfortable, close your eyes and join with me in knowing there is only one power, one presence, one light, one life, one divinity. It is in everything. It moves through everything and lives as everything. This ever-evolving, ever-expanding presence is all there is. And I know I am a carnation of this one. And I know that I speak my word for each person here and online, each person listening, that we are divinity, that each and every one of us are divinity, and each and every one of us matter, that we are enough, that we are love and loved beyond measure. I claim for you, as I do for me, that we are now open to recognizing God's highest divine idea. As Reverend Sue speaks from her heart today, I know every masterful thought and every loving word are our divine opening. I know that every word spoken today aligns us more completely with that idea. Our thoughts are clear, energized, and open. I relax into knowing that we are better together. And I know that our very presence blesses the world, that this community is blessed, that this community is powerful, and that every person within these walls is transformed. And for that, I am so grateful for our amazing, caring, and loving Reverend, for knowing these truths, for knowing that we are here, that this place is a place of peace, and I know that we are all so very blessed. At CSL Reading, I am so grateful. I release my word into the law for the perfect unfoldment, knowing it is done as these words leave my lips, and together we say, and so it is. Reverend Sue?
Thank you, Judy. Good morning again. You know, I have to welcome Reverend Sharon here today, Sharon Kennedy. It's just so incredibly awesome to see you. She's right up here. May you know that the community misses you very much. So, what a blessing. So interesting as this month comes to a close, the whole idea this month was to look at self-care from a spiritual eye and embracing self-care. And so the message suddenly comes through from the organization that says, personalizing the infinite. And I thought, how odd is that? What does that, where am I going with that message for self-care? And Roger Teal starts off with this particular message to us, and this is from his work called The Life is Joy. As we make welcome higher ideas, we are equipped to put our unique personal spin on them, yet they flow to us from that immense intelligence at the heart of this universe. As individualized expressions of spirit, of love, of intelligence, each of us lives within an infinite ocean of possibility. At any moment, we are open to receive and cultivate a transformative idea beyond anything we have ever realized before. So I am in this absolute knowing of this individualized energy that is downpouring through each one of you here this morning. This powerful statement from Roger Teal is there's sometimes in the scheme of things we get this, but a lot of times we're feeling small and that certain things will just always seem to be beyond us. And I think that's why we fall out of self-care. I think some part of us at times is depressed and feeling not worthy to even try a little harder. But truly, the spiritual knowing is simply allow love of spirit to flow through us without conditions. The in me, as me level of consciousness of the divine is eager, so eager to manifest itself through us. And that's what we evolve to. As there was a book by Swami Muktananda, that talked about the play of consciousness. And this is the play of consciousness. This is the intelligence that we are tapping into, this powerful wisdom that is ever present. So many years ago, when I first read Deepak Chopra's, in his spiritual work, The 7 Laws of Spirituality, he reminded us of the law of potentiality. And some of you that have taken that coursework or read his book, that might stimulate a remembrance in you as well. But it's this law of potentiality is always waiting for us to awaken in the knowing that it is there for us. So personalizing, though, that's what has to happen. This pure potential is our choice. We need to own it. What lies dormant in you because you are too shy to try? So I realized, in my own take on personalizing the infinite, it is about, I'm going to do a lot of these things today, so I'm going to be really annoying, those quotation things. But it's about self with a big capital S, care. Care of the self. Care of the self. I thought, oh my God, I get that. I get that. Let us go there. And so I'm going to tell you a funny story about myself, and I'm a little embarrassed even the fact that Reverend Lynn is here today as well, but I'll ignore her. She's sitting over here. Because when I told her this story about myself, one of my personal beginning awakenings, she laughed. And then we, from there, ended up making a bunch of spiritual names for ourselves, and it got kind of crazy. But why does she only have the privilege to know this secret about me? I'm going to share it with all of you. So many years ago, I was involved with a lovely group of people, and I was pretty young. And these people were into channeling the divine. Ooh, you all say, ooh, does she do that now? I believe I am. Though I'm sure God has a different script and I go off script, but I believe that we all are channels of the divine. However, at this time, it was more in the woo-woo field. So, we were told, now don't hold this against me, that we were reincarnated disciples of Christ. You didn't know that, did you? I am Bartholomew. I don't really know who that is. But I digress. But I was young and impressionable, and I thought, how cool is that? They did have to reincarnate. Why not me? Why not me be one of the good guys? And so we followed this little group. In fact, one of the channelings was to get me to move to Redding. So I came here at age 25 or so. And yeah, started, never saw Redding. Was driving up I-5 and thinking, I'm going to my destiny where God's calling me. And I'm thinking, ugh, I-5 was just like, ugh. And it was July and it was hot. And I thought, I had 2 little kittens, and I've never seen a kitten go, and in the big U-Haul truck, I mean, there was no going back. There's no going back. There was just following the guidance. And so life unfolded since that moment. And I love Redding. I love this valley. I love the river, the mountains. And I love the people that are drawn into my circle, and I'm drawn into their circle. That's my county. That's my people. And that's what I love. So I look at this adventure again back, because the other gal, she was directed to Dunsmuir, and she was our leader. And our leader. Better remember to put those in there. So anyway, after a couple years, I was kind of feeling a little bit like not worthy of this role that was put upon me to be a channeler myself. So we hiked into Panther Meadows, and beautiful place, holy ground. And the leader was totally invested as being the Christed one of our group. And she was leading us all on a vision quest for us to each declare the message that was moving through us that everybody in the group needed to know. And so people were surrounding me as I laid there, knowing that I'm not getting it. Not working for me here. But if you close your eyes, it seems to not be as real. So I laid there as she led us into a trance-like state. And then she said, "What message are you receiving?" And I let there be a pause, and I kept my eyes closed, and she kept humming these questions to me and asking me, "What am I receiving? Who is with me?" Oh, geez. I mumbled. I was feeling too shy. But she heard, "Too shy. Too shy is with you." What does too shy want us to know? And I thought, oh my God. Right, Lynn? Oh my God. I burst out laughing. I said, "Nothing. I can't do this." And it was just so awkward because she was so sincere. She was, and she was so serious, and I felt bad about my bursting out laughing. So that session was completely aborted, and I think our friendship kind of ended there. But I know that somewhere in me, Too Shy still lives. And you are somebody's Humi and Charlie, and you are? Rothma. What is it? Rothma. Oh, she's Ramtha backwards. I don't think I can say it without spitting. So anyway, just those moments. But that was pivotal. I might laugh at it now, but it was pivotal. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to take ownership of channeling divine. And that really is, as we evolve our consciousness, it is the fourth level that they refer to in me as me consciousness. But I had so much personal work to still do. So understand this for yourself, that we are the ones that are tapping into these infinite possibilities of the divine. We have to take the steps personally, and we have to take the ownership of this personal power that is dwelling already within each one of us. That's the ultimate self-care. So recently, I am going to share something that you can read on your own, but it's in the Science of Mind. And there's a group of us, we recently went through this chapter about God is personal. And so I'm going to take this apart, this chapter. It's a very small chapter, but I found it so incredibly endearing. So these are all Earnest Holmes' words, the founder of this teaching. No one can find God for us. No one can find God for us. Each individual must do this for himself. We cannot find God outside the self because we cannot go outside the self. There's no place where we begin and God leaves off. We can find God only within ourselves. So I get a kick out of here how Earnest Holmes says this next idea. It does not look as though we could discover God within the self, because we look at ourselves and say, well, look at me. I am poor, weak, miserable, unhappy, disconsolate, and forlorn. And you tell me I should find God in the midst of this chaotic mass that I call myself? I thought, oh, Ernest, kind of sharp. So it does look discouraging, he says, and like a forlorn hope, but still it's your starting point. For as we shear the belief in separation from our consciousness, the chaos that is produced by doing that by thinking that we're separate from the divine, does throw us into chaos. And then we separate ourselves off. And then we find that inhibitions start to influence ourselves. And then there's the inner turmoil. And we emerge on the other side in that chaotic mass. But he said, on the other side, as we continue to dive in deeper, going beyond all of that, all of you have done this. I know you've all walked your path in life seeking some profound and incredible love. And here it is. Heaven's always been there, right inside of you. It's the pearl that's always been there at the seat of our heart. Nothing ever happened to it. Now, I love this knowing. I love this knowing because we step into a power of our own destiny to know God and not just wish to know God, not hope or long for our spirituality to suddenly be awakened. So I tell another story on myself because I have stood in a lot of darshan lines. And oftentimes as I stood in those lines at different ashrams, there was the hope. There was the hope inside of me that when they do what's called Shaktipat, it's a transference of the divine energy, a transference of grace, that I would really suddenly be enlightened, that it would be easy. It would be easier if I was able to receive that. Now, many times I've been walking that darshan line and turned away at the last minute. I'm not worthy. And I would go in the corner and just want to suck my thumb and feel, I can't do it. I'm going to get up there and the guru is going to look at me and say, why are you here? And I would just work up into this, what did he call it, this chaotic mass. And so I would still, though there's many lines, I finished the walk. The beautiful wand of peacock feathers, the direct look into the guru's eyes, to the teacher, would penetrate me. And I remember going to sit down because I was so tremulous. And I would weep for no reason. And people would start to surround me. And I wanted to help, and I was just like, I need this space. Oftentimes they wanted to sign me up for something, and I didn't want that right then. So, but this is this initiation. And I think that we're always receiving darshan when we come to the center. And if we really are listening, not so much to me, it could be the music, could be the prayer, could be looking at one of these children up here on the stage wearing their parents' shoes, It could be those moments that suddenly awaken us with such a tenderness of heart. We feel so worthy. And we think, I am so one with God right now because I feel one with the little fellow with big shoes. He has big shoes to fill. So as I look at all of these, I remember that this idea of activating, this initiation of activation to a higher, progressively higher state of consciousness is this cosmic energy that has dawned upon us. And it's usually, if you ever look it up, it's from a guru to a disciple. A guru is a teacher. You've got many teachers in your life. And when we're the seeker, we become the disciple. So actually what happens with the intensive in this initiation is receiving something priceless. It could be like a mantra. It could be something that immediately a teaching is transmitted to you. But guess what? Here comes another one of these. Ready? You might want to mark it down. You have to practice. All right? You could be blessed with a darshan wand over and over again, but if you're not practicing, it dissolves into another place inside of you. It's not magic. It's not a shortcut. It's a sacred spiritual gift. And with a more definite guideline, though, a guideline for your personal development. You will receive what you need to receive. You will hear what you need to hear. And it guides each one of us into the deeper experience, the felt experience of loving God. And what comes from that is a deep longing then, I want to be one with God. And I think there's such greater suffering right now as we feel of so many things that separate us from this oneness. And I think that's why we have such troubled hearts. It's difficult to love some of the things that are going on out in the world. But in this unique transference of energy, it's awakening us to a journey of greater joy. It's unleashing that greatness within. This taste of grace is awakening each one of us as the recipient to an inner spiritual energy towards liberation. But it's up to us. It's up to us to be the one who receives it within and carries it on. But daily practice. In those lines of Darshan, as I was so deeply moved, I could understand and I could accept. The journey has carried me to new levels of understanding. Its strength of those moments is infused in me to stand here now. I never wanted to be a minister. Sharon can testify that, and so can Lynn. I only joined their class so they could take it. Right? All right, thank you very much. So, all of this, all of you, all of me have received this guidance throughout our lifetime. Returning to Earnest Holmes right now, his encouragement, remember, is to discover it for ourselves. This importance of separating out all the confusion of the mind, not an easy task, and align with spirit. So, absolutely measuring up is to what God is, and knowing that as God is, I am. That's your question that you leave here today. So what is God to me? What is spirit? What is this divine mystery? What is it do I call it nature? Do I call it infinite intelligence? Do I call it love? That's yours. That's yours. I can't force a word that works for me into you. But you feel a word. There's a felt sense of what the divine means to you. And if you can name it, then you can be it. If you can name it, you can be it. And so you become that. As you name that divinity, that quality, that power, that love, so be it. It is you. We identify with spirit. In A New Design for Living, Ernest says, we need never view human personality as something unreal and unworthy. Personality gets a bad rap, but rather as an individualization of the divine. It is the universal spirit that is incarnated in each of us in a unique way. And that gives warmth, color, and variation to that which otherwise would be an eternal monotony. So he's powerfully taking us to this deeper realization that no matter what the appearances seem to be on the contrary, there is still a spiritual center within you. There is still a spiritual center. There's still a spiritual center. And we must keep watch then and rid ourselves of the false thoughts that are fogging that understanding. Reach back into your center. The divine presence is right there. Ernest Holmes says, others may show us how they did this. There's many books about it. Many may suggest how we should proceed. But there is a path. There is a path that every person must walk alone. Yet not alone. Charlie and I have been on this journey together. One of the most deepest things I love about him is our commonality in spirituality. So we walk alongside of each other. But it's not the same. It's not the same. But the love just grows bigger because we're walking on a path of truth. So you walk alone, but not along. And Earnest Holmes says, forevermore there is a spirit that beckons, a presence that feels out towards us as we feel toward it. And someday, Earnest Holmes reminds us we shall rest in its warm embrace. I find that just so incredibly moving. And I know I get emotional up here because I think when we deal with spirit, it is an incredibly emotional field. And I care so deeply, as I've shared many times, for the people that are here, and the people that are online, and the people out in our woods. I care so deeply, but I can't fix the problems. We all care. It's not just me. We all care, and we're all leaning in, and we are creating that warm embrace. The discovery of the self is to the self and by the self. We should not wish it otherwise, for if someone else held the key to our palace, how should we enter then? If someone else is to live for us, we could never live ourselves. The great and long and meaningful secret of life is bound up in this one moment of self-discovery. And the most fortunate moment in our lives will be the moment when we come to realize that we must take ourselves for better or for worse. That's a vow. That's a vow to the self. That is ultimate self-care. The ultimate invitation here is reaching out to you and broadcasting, now is the time. The path to God is through the self, and we can now accept to choose a joy-filled way. Now, yesterday in the Sage Workshop, which I find absolutely so refreshing, even if you're not in that age group, you should join us because the wisdom that pours through that is life-changing. And we did a deep dive into some of the struggles of the various ways that we're dealing with the world. It is this, but it's also that. And what we came to really recognize, nothing is really in our way to hinder us except our thoughts. That it's something about the other. Somebody else is doing this, the other. And that thought will block our good from unfolding. So we have to stand as the gatekeepers to our mind and not entertain those thoughts. That's what creates the chaos in our mind. So briefly, I'm going to invite Judy up in a moment. You come on up, Judy, because I'm going to not do so much a prayer, but I am going to read to you from a guru his words on the self. I can't say it any more beautifully than he did. But I first want to share the story that the wisdom keepers of the Sage group shared yesterday, and it's the parable of the rainmaker. So think about this, because it's very pertinent to our area. There was a great drought, and for months there had not been a drop of rain, and the situation was catastrophic. The Catholics made processions, the Protestants made prayers, and the Chinese burned joss sticks and shot off guns to frighten away the demons of the drought, but with no result. Finally, the Chinese said, "We shall fetch the rainmaker." From another province, a dried-up old man appeared. The only thing he asked for was a quiet little house somewhere, and he locked himself in for the 3 days. On the 4th day, the clouds gathered, and there was a great snowstorm. The town was so full of rumors about the wonderful rainmaker that a visitor went to ask the man, How did you do this? They call you the rainmaker. Will you tell me how you made snow? The man responded, I did not make snow. I'm not responsible. But what have you done these 3 days? Oh, I can explain that. I came from another country where things are in order. Here they're out of order. They are not as they should be by ordinance of heaven. Therefore, the whole country is not in Tao. And I also am not in the natural order of things because I'm in a disordered country. So I had to wait 3 days until I was back in Tao. Naturally, the rain came. Okay? A lot of message there. 3 days. Take your time. Take your time, put your own house in order. And Judy, why don't you start playing? And I invite you, this is practice, leaning in to the greater self. So close your eyes, plant your feet, allow the pillar of your spine to rise up through you with great dignity, and claim that you own the divinity that moves through you. As you listen to the powerful words, the self is already attained. Swami Muktananda, he shares with you. Who is it who knows when the mind is filled with anger or with love? Who is that is awake when we are sleeping? Who knows that we slept and reports to us our dream? We have to meditate on that one who is the witness of everything. The awareness is vital to your meditation. It is consciousness vibrating as mind that makes the mind think. If you could understand this secret, you understand the secret of meditation. Wherever is, or whatever is God. Wherever the mind goes is God. That is the awareness with which you should meditate. Then you will be able to see the inner self through meditation. God is the self. He is the light of knowledge. He is blazing, shimmering, vibrating at your heart, sitting right there within you. The self is that which there is no language to explain, that by which we are alive in the self. It is the life of our life, because only the self exists. So we perform actions in the world, but only the self exists. Breathing deeper, knowing deeper. The sage who saw the self said many things about the self, but only if you meditate and go within can you experience it fully. To know the self as it is and become one with it, that is true meditation. The one who is within you is also in everybody. And the one who is in everybody is within you. To be able to see that is the highest worship. To stay in that awareness is the highest attainment. Going deeper. Give up thinking of others. If you want to think of others, think of your own self in them. Give up looking at others. If you want to look at others, look at your own self in them. Look at your own self and become immersed in your own ecstasy. And finally, go everywhere, do everything, meet everyone, love everyone, but never, never forget yourself. Never think that anything exists other than self. Nothing else but you, nothing different from you, nothing to attain other than you. Nothing can be taken from you. That's all you need to understand. There is nothing to know other than that. Meditate on yourself. Worship yourself. Kneel to yourself. Understand yourself. God dwells within you as you. In this knowing, in these blessed sacred words of Swami Muktananda, we not only hear the words, but we feel the words, and the words are personal. So we take this as our darshan today. Feeling blessed by the Shaktipad, by that release of blessed energy, the awakening. And we go out into the world and we serve from that place of absolute love. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the beautiful music of Judy, for the sanctuary of wholehearted seekers, and for the self that lives within us all. We are so grateful, and so it is. Thank you. There are so many papers. If anybody needs to do a term paper, you'll pretty much find what you need up here.
Hi. Hello? Is this working? Okay. Come on up. As I prepare to give my offering, my heart is filled with love and appreciation. Since what is offered here is for my spiritual well-being, I am filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as I give, I do receive.
I am so blessed.
I give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and during the week. I know each dollar supports the spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always. And so it is. We'll have one more song.
Please join us if you know the words. Adrienne Cowling and Judy Preble. Thank you. Thank you. It's like voices of the angels, right? Right? I didn't want to chime in on that song because it was just so incredibly beautiful, just the way you did it. So please enjoy the social hall. It is Friendship Sunday, and there's items in the bookstore that are really fun to say mine, 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 mine. And I've missed out on some of the things I thought were mine. And so enjoy that. And Lori's workshop begins in the cottage, right, at 1 o'clock. Okay, so have something to eat, feel nourished spiritually and physically, and then go enjoy digging in the dirt. Have a beautiful day. And sign the card for Belinda if you think of that on your way out. Just a name is all. Thank you.